Reset right now. All right, we ready to rock and roll?
One moment.
Oh, just got to mute everybody and then we're off to the
Sure. All right, we're streaming live on Facebook. I'm sitting in for Dan today. As Lawrence mentioned, he's on vacation, and I'm going to pass it over to Lawrence.
So good morning, everybody. So I was going to mention about Michael in a second, and I will. So the slaughterhouse of failure is not in our destiny. We will persevere until we succeed. That's Ogmandino a little modified. And actually, you know, if you keep that in mind every time you have a little hiccup, just remember that it's a slaughterhouse of failure that many people, we're not going to fail. So we always talk about lead and lag measures. That's one of the themes that we've been harping on for some time. You know, what is a lead measure? What is a lag measure? And so on. And right now, today is a perfect moment to look at lead and lag measures, because last night was the deadline for qualifying for Jamaica, the trips that the company offers. And it was last night, midnight, that's it. The points that you've got, whatever you've achieved in that time, that's the cutoff time. So now's the time to look at that as a lag measure. Why did we get on the trip? Did we really want to go on the trip? What did we do? How could we have improved? Now's the time to introspect and look back over the last 6 months and see, how did we perform? How did we help our team perform? Did we do what we could? Did we do enough? Did they do enough? So, and then today starts the new lead measure. The company's given us some little teasers about the next destination. They'll probably announce it after 10 o'clock today. Michael seems to think the teaser was it's a blue, white, red, white, and blue flag, and it's in the tropics with bananas and sand and so on. So Michael is convinced that this is Costa Rica. We don't know that, but it's a very good guess. So now the thing is, there's the new lead measure. The new lead is, who wants to go? Let me ask, by a show of hands, who wants to go on an all expenses trip paid for two? Just show of hands. Not everybody. What?
Right.
Okay,
wait.
There you go. So the point is, all expenses paid for two people, and it's really, really a good trip. And Michael will be telling us about that in a second. So the new lead measure is a new trip. So now we've got to start planning it. How do we get there? How do we earn these trips? So the goal is, for example, if you're a brand rep, and I assume that everybody here is a brand rep, and if you're not, then find from how to get there, which is your 6,000 points, which are different points to the ones we're going to talk about now. So if you form a brand rep in your group, you'll make your goal is 100 points. So if you're a brand rep, you need to earn 100 points to be able to qualify for this trip. How do we get these 100 points? Well, each 1,000 points of volume of sales congratulations. Somebody became a brand rep yesterday. Who was that? I didn't see it.
Colleen Marie.
Jolly good. Good for you, Colleen Marie.
Absolutely awesome. Good
Congratulations. Work. So now you're a brand rep. Your goal is to have 100 points between now and December. And those 100 points will go in the following way of any alternatives. Each 1,000 points of sales that you do are worth 2 points. Each brand rep that you get will be worth 4 points. If that brand rep has a brand rep underneath him and becomes a gold, or you become a gold is 8 points. 3 brand reps is 12 points. And 4 brand reps, Ruby, is 20 points.
Correct.
Emerald will be 28 points. So you've now got to make a plan. It's a business plan. It's a calculation. You need to get 100 points by December. And how are you going to do that? Okay, now your goal is, how many points are you going to have every month of sales? So all this has to do with mindset. Is if you want this, do you want it? Is it a wildly important goal to have your team go with you? What are your goals? So Michael is actually, he's a diamond. He's been working at this for a couple of years, a few years. And he decided that he wanted to go on all these trips, as we all do, as we all did, we all wanted to. And Michael has achieved every trip in the last 2 or 3 years that has been offered. And he just came back from the one in Mexico. So I'll let Michael explain what the trip in Mexico was about, how that was, and why and what he's done to earn these other trips. And if you've got any questions, please remember to let's pick his brain as well. Michael?
Sure. Thank you, Lawrence. Yes, I did. I was just in Riviera Maya with my wife about two months ago. And that was a trip that one of the trips that I've won so far. I've actually won 4 trips. The first one took 100 points. The second one 150, 200, and I just qualified yesterday for Jamaica. That was 250 points. So each time they raise the bar, right? And that's fine. Now, once you've won 4 trips, it's no longer 50-point increments. It goes to 100, and it stays at 100 from then on out. So my next trip, I'm going to get 350 points. That means I need to average 60 a month, right? And right now I'm not doing that. So the way to do that is by building a team of successful brand reps underneath you. But out of the 4 trips that I've won, I've only been able to go on one because COVID, right? The first trip that I won was to Australia. And Australia's been shut down. It still is. There's a lot of issues with trying to travel there. So Nu Skin has that in the bank for me, and they're actually working out something since that was almost 2 years ago. Winning the trips before was like the nice consequence of doing the work. But after actually going on one, that's becoming a goal. My wife and I had so much fun in Mexico, which I didn't imagine. I knew we'd enjoy it, but I was absolutely blown away with the accommodations and how well everything was managed and ran. And I think I was out of pocket maybe $100 or $150. That includes the parking at the airport. Paid for literally nothing. But the fun and excitement that we had down there, and seeing all the other successful people in Nu Skin, it re-energized me. And now it has become a goal to get to that 350 points to get on another trip. And all the clues so far, as Lawrence mentioned, red, white, and blue flag. That could be the United States. It could be Panama. It could be Costa Rica. It could be France, I believe Lawrence mentioned. But then they go on that, there's sun and sand, there's waterfalls, there's parrots. So I think we've got it now narrowed down to, it could be Puerto Rico too, if you think about that. It could be Puerto Rico. But I'm going to say it's either Costa Rica, Panama, or Puerto Rico. I'm leaning towards Costa Rica because it's real easy to get in and out of there right now. They don't have any COVID restrictions. And I'm very familiar with Costa Rica. So my wife is from there, and I've been there many times. But as Lawrence said, when we set off on a journey, we have to have a goal. And if you start off on a trip, then if you don't have your destination mapped, you're not going to get there. So whatever drives you forward is what you want to focus on, and by setting that goal and taking these lead and lag measures to move you forward. It's possible to qualify for a trip through your own sales, maybe one, maybe, and that's you're going to be busting your butt to get 100 points just based on your own sales. The real way you earn these trips is by developing other leaders, and they will contribute points to you. Their success means your success, and that's one of the reasons that I love this business, and just another way for us to focus on it. So my goal in the next 6 months is to further develop the amazing leaders that I have, raise their pin titles up, and introduce a few more leaders to my team. That's my success comes from creating other successful people in my downline, and that's one of the reasons I've really come to love what I do with this business. I didn't realize that in the beginning, but it's a lot of fun, and that drives me forward.
So, Michael, how many people were on that trip?
Oh, there were 3,300 people on the trip to Mexico, all paid for by the company and by their hard work in this business. I say that I've won some trips, and everyone corrects me. You earn the trips, which is true. It's the hard work of the individuals that get us on these trips. But there were 3,300 people. So when you qualify for a trip, you can bring one more. And I think they said that there were over 1,300 people qualified for the trip. So you can double that with a husband and wife or significant other or whatever. You're at 2,600. And then if you have children or you want to pay, you can add someone else, to your group. So quite a few people, they had children with them, or maybe they brought, somebody else with them, to experience this.
So just think about that for a second, everybody. 1,300 minimum, 1,300 accounts qualified for the trip, all expenses paid at the very best resort in Mexico. And Michael actually is I think I will join that club of loving to eat in really good places. And he was telling us that there was a Michelin chef in. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so as I said, everything was paid for. I was concerned because I heard this was the first trip in many years that they've had everyone together at the same hotel at the same time. They normally do waves, because the hotel just can't handle that many people. But this hotel, to put it in a child's words, were ginormous. There were actually two hotels that were next to each other. Escarat is the chain. I don't know how many rooms they had in that hotel, a few thousand, obviously. But my concern is, oh my God, all these people, we're not going to be able to get into a restaurant anywhere. Well, there were more than enough restaurants. One of the restaurants was, they had the only Michelin 5-star chef in Mexico. That was his restaurant. Food was absolutely amazing. It was, I believe, a 9-course sampling dinner. And I'm just blown away by everything, honestly. I've been very fortunate in my life. My father was an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. And that's probably why I'm sitting here today. I realize, the value of being an entrepreneur. And as a result, I've stayed in some pretty nice hotels, both when I was a child and later on when I had other businesses, 4-star and 5-star resorts, both here and internationally. This was by far the finest hotel. It was also new, but I mean, it was state of the art, the finest hotel I've ever been in. And I've stayed at some amazing hotels.
So here's the thing now, for everybody on the call. Again, it comes down to what we want. So, we can all afford to go somewhere and go on vacation and have fun and so on, but it's a whole different ball game when you're actually able to go with a team of people with whom you've become friends with, because our business allows us, enables us, encourages us to actually become friends with the people that we work with. And there was one team, one event that was in Deer Valley, and that I qualified for, and we had seven accounts on that, and I thought that was pretty good. Until you look around and you see other people who have got 30 or 40 people of their teams qualified for these trips. That's where humility comes in, because at the beginning you think, oh, I'm great. I managed to get 7 people on my trip. And there are other people that have got 25, 30 accounts, which means double the number of people on those trips. And that is where we say, well, my goodness, I'm competitive. So my goal is to better that. Worst scenario, match it. And so that's what we've got to decide. We've got to decide what we want. Do we want that? Is it a wildly important goal to be able to have the satisfaction of earning something like a trip with all expenses paid? And there's a blueprint for it. It's just in this case, a numbers game. An executive will give you 4 points. Each 1,000 points will give you 2 points. So, as a brand rep, you need 100. And Michael now needs probably close to 100 a month. No, not quite. You need 60 a month.
I need, yeah. That's a good point. I need 60 a month. And the last 6 months, last month, yesterday, I didn't quite reach 60. So I've got a pretty good goal ahead of me. I don't expect that I'm going to get I hope to get 60 next month, but realistically, if I can get 50 next month and increase that in increments, 55, 60, 65, 70, build up at the end of 6 months, I want to be making, I want to be earning about 85 or 90 points a month. So it's the same with you guys starting out. You need 100 points, divide that by 6. That's what, 15 roughly or something. You're not going to get 15 points, if you're just starting next month. So you're going to start, just try and set a goal of 6 points, 6 or 8 points or something. But the goal is to increase that number every time. And, I thought, wow, I'm doing really well. I follow these lead and lag measures, and I follow over here. I've got a chart that I use for that. In fact, you know what? I don't know if you guys can see this. This is, I'm continuous looking at where I'm at and mapping this out. I'm diamond now, and I've got 2 more steps to team elite. So I'm continuously monitoring what, my daily activities, my weekly activities, and my monthly activities to move the ball forward, right? So if you're starting out, and you think, oh my God, I need 15 points a month, I'll never do that. No, you won't do that the first month, but get 8 points the first month. That's 4,000 in volume. Bring someone else onto your team. And when they become brand rep, they're going to contribute to your points until they become brand rep. And then they're going to give you 4. Maybe, as Lawrence said, when they become a gold, they're going to give you 8. You see where that's going all of a sudden? If you've got a lap piece earning 8 points a month, that's 48 points over 6 months.
A lap piece is 12.
12. Okay, you're right. So if you're a gold, there's 48 points right there over 6 months. So I was humbled yesterday. I'm very proud of earning the trip and everything. I know I've got my goal set, but I was talking to Scott Bennett, and he won the trip. He only needed 1,150 points to do it. Wow, that's what I want to be, right? So this is a result of success. And if you want to set the goal to win a trip, then a byproduct of that is going to be success. If you want to set a goal of being successful in the business and earning money and making other people leaders and making them successful, the byproduct of that is you're going to win a trip. So all these goals are headed in the same direction, the
So
same steps.
here we've got a numbers goal to achieve a trip, to earn a trip, which, okay, we understand. How are we going to do that? With what? Well, guess what? The company continually gives us new products that are blow your mind away, fantastic. I mean, we had the collagen, which we get excited about, and then it kind of goes on a back burner, but that's a really exciting product. Very, very exciting. Collagen, you look around, everybody wants collagen. And yet we've got to keep that enthusiasm of sales going with stellar products. We've got one coming out this month which is called Meta. And on Wednesday, well, last Wednesday, please listen to the recording. Steve Moore and Scott Bennett did a great job of presenting, making a business presentation and mentioning Meta as a little teaser. Well, this Wednesday, Mark Bartlett will be actually talking about some of the more involved details, more complete details of what Meta is all about. But here's and if you look on, excuse me, if you look and see, Google metabolism, go to pubmed.gov if you like, and check these things like collagen, or like Meta in this case, see how many studies there are and what it's about. Who is not interested in metabolism? I mean, it's like a buzzword right now. Everybody goes to the gym. I'm trying to get my metabolism going. I'm trying to get this going. And we have it. We have these presents that are put on a platter for us. We're given products that are unique, exclusive, patented. Wow. You know, there's no excuse, literally, and I have this thing on my wrist here, like Mike has, no excuse, absolutely no excuse not to achieve whatever we want to achieve. We've got the products, we've got our own websites for free, we've got the science to back our products, we've got an incentive to be able to achieve the goals that we propose to ourselves. This is it's like a jigsaw puzzle. The pieces are all there. How do we get to achieve a goal? Well, there are the numbers. Just achieve each month certain sales, get your team working. And this is about teams. When people say, you know, network, this is a network. It's a network of like-minded people who have the same goals, or who could be interested in the same goals, in the same direction. So I don't see what the time is there. We've got another minute or two if anybody wants to comment.
Yeah, I would just comment too. This, if you haven't been digging into this, this flyer was created by Deborah Hanaka. Thank you, Deborah. And just another example of how things, you know, are available to us. Deborah's, you know, a distributor, a brand rep, just like myself. And she put this together. It's in the Healthcare Alliance Facebook page. You can download it. Definitely, you want, if you're not familiar with new product launches, you want to follow this very closely. Watch, if you didn't watch Wednesday, watch the recording of that. Watch the science. This is a method of really boosting your business. We did this with collagen last year, and I have a lot of collagen subscribers right now. So we're setting these lead. We're going to set these goals and use our lead and lag measures to get there. I'm humbled again to be on the call today in place of Dan with the master here of mindset, Lawrence. But he mentioned, you know, he gave me this wristband, and I've got it right next to a Pura Vida My Costa Rica band. But you know, this actually plays a very significant role in what I do. I don't think I've taken it off in months. You know, it's rubber. I shower with it and everything, but the direction it's facing will tell you something. I turned it around yesterday to where I can read it, because I don't want any excuses about not getting on this next trip. Normally I have it chased, turn the other way where other people can see it. Listen, no more excuses, but I turned it around so it's facing me. And that's part of the mindset of setting these lead and lag measures. Everything that I do is geared towards moving towards that goal.
And also something important. Thanks, Mike. One of the important things is that we've got to remember that the products we have are consumable. When we talk about collagen, we talk about the toothpaste or the Life Pack Nano or the collagen or the Meta that's coming out, or any of the products we have, they're consumable. In other words, we can become raving fans, as Tony Robbins says, raving fans of our products. I use every kind of product you can imagine that is a new skin product. And every month, and I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I was telling my wife, we were discussing this the other day, like on the weekend. We said, where are we spending all this money? Because we just came back from vacation. And we've got over $1,000 a month that we spend on new skin products. We love it. We love them all. So they're consumable. So when we talk about Meta or collagen or any other products, it's not just a sale, it's an ongoing sale. And that's where it becomes exciting. And that's where your points continually can grow and continue to come in. So, this is something, it's exciting times. Products are there. We're going into recession, I believe. And when the recession goes, when there was a depression in the 30s, one of the things that sold most during depression, people didn't have anything to eat, was lipstick in 1930 something. So I'm just saying, in tough times, we have some really good advantages because people can be creative and work from home and so on. Sorry.
So, yeah, our business tends to thrive with new leadership during difficult times. That's when new leaders are looking, because what they were doing before, recession can slow down, and that's when they find us, and some really good leaders come out of recessions and tough times. And what Lawrence just mentioned, I remember when I first got started in the business, Venezuela was one of the countries that we did business in. And, it was a disaster down there. It's worse now. But, when everything was going wrong, we were still selling skincare products. When people couldn't afford bread, we were still selling skincare products. And eventually it just became, logistically, we couldn't do business there. We had to close the country. But that was really a wake-up call to me that, these consumables that people need. I don't spend $1,000 a month on new skin products for my personal use, but I use shampoo, I use toothpaste, I use soap, obviously the supplements. If I'm using a product, why would I buy it from a competitor? It just doesn't make sense, especially when you look at the fact that our products are better. Especially when you look at the fact that as a brand rep, when you purchase a product, it's really only costing you maybe 30%, 35% of the actual price because of the commissions that you get back, the reward points, the samples that you can write off, talk to your accountant about that. There's no reason not to use our products when, to use a competitor's products while we have, products that we use every day anyway.
Thank you. Anybody else got any? Thanks, Michael. Anybody else got any other comment, anything they want to add or say?
Who's going to go to the next trip too? We want to know that. So.
Yeah. Like your commitment. If anybody, look, this is everybody's on here. It's one thing to be able to commit to yourself, because you can always lie to yourself, but it's embarrassing to be able to commit publicly and not complete. So anybody want to commit to that or comment?
I'll commit. I'm going to make that next trip. It's so funny that Mike brought up Costa Rica. My wife and I want to desperately go to Costa Rica. And she told me yesterday, Jim, I think it's Costa Rica. So we'll see. Even if it's not, I know it'll be a fantastic trip. And last night we had a team call, and we were talking about this trip in particular. And I'm so glad that Mike got on and kind of laid out with you, Lawrence, kind of a strategy and plan. You need to really plan this out and lay out the tracks and, set up the task underneath your goal so that you reach it. And so I think that's great. I was talking to a team elite who built a huge business and was about to quit. And then they came out with the social selling. And next thing you know, he totally transitioned his business to social selling. And he's a guy about my age, but he told me, Jim, it's amazing. You put $100, and he used a woman's example because that's what he's mostly doing, social selling. He goes, you put $100 in their pocket, and I'm telling you, they'll never leave you. And we're taking women who are stay-at-home moms who need extra money. And he said, I'm telling you, you look a year later, someone who could barely afford the toothpaste now has at least 40 Pharmanex products in their house that they're using all the time. They start making money and they spend it again on Pharmanex products because they love them.
Yeah, there's no question. Get hooked on it. Okay, thanks, Jim.
I'll commit.
Anybody
I'm
else?
going. I'm going on a trip.
Yes. There you go.
Today is the day. So a little background today, I'm still employed, but I literally lost my job overnight. So because I'm an employee of a company, our reimbursement tanked last night, and my company is money hungry and did not agree to accommodate my providers, I guess. And so they want to charge them more than they're going to get reimbursed. And I'm not sure I've ever met a person that is going to do that. It's clear this morning my email is blowing up because I'm having to break this news to all of my providers. I mean, I have probably 200 contracts that were supposed to be out last night that kind of fell short of that because I don't want to be the bearer of bad news on a Friday holiday weekend. But that gives me motivation because literally I just lost $4.5 million in 5 years worth of dedicated employee, hit my number all the time. And so that's my true motivation is I don't want to be an employee. I don't want to look for another job. I don't want to be at the mercy of somebody else saying or predicting my success or my failure or when I will no longer have to wake up and get a paycheck. So I'm committing. That is my focus, is to grow my social selling business. I enjoy it. I am kind of like a toothpaste slinger now. Like yesterday, I went to an appointment, and the lady I'd seen her before, and she was like, "Please tell me you brought product in your purse." And I was like, well, yes, I did. Of course I did. So there we go. Toothpaste and thinner right there. When I was literally paying her for a service, she ended up Venmoing me right back for the product. So it's super fun. I'm super focused on making this happen and making things, setting plans in place to grow a team to hop on the train of success with me.
Hey, Riley, that's awesome. I can see that how you're laser focused now on this. And I can tell you one thing, the Margarita Thursdays there's nothing like Margarita Thursday in Costa Rica on the beach. I look forward to enjoying one with you.
Oh, every day is Margarita Day, really. But I just try to set it apart, like for my social fans, that I don't drink all the time. I just drink most of the time. So,
Okay, fantastic. We're going to hold you to it, Riley.
Please do.
So accountability is the other thing. Don't forget lead and lag. So we're going to look at the accountability of your plan, and you've got a whole team to help you. And that's the whole point of it. That's point of what we have as a business. So anybody else? All right. Well, thanks everybody for being on the call. Look forward to seeing you on Monday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Look forward to you being on the call on Wednesday with Mark Bartlett. That's hugely important because it's the incentive, the scientific incentive for us to be able to go full steam with Meta, which is just another huge part of our really important arsenal. So Michael has just put on the chat the
Yeah, that's the link to register for next Wednesday science training on Meta with Mark Bartlett.
perfect. Please get onto that, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday.
How do you get the invite for that, Mike?
I'm sorry?
How do you get the invite or the link for that call?
It's on HCA. It's on the HCA Facebook page.
Okay. Thank
So guys, at noon today in New Skin, North America, they're going to at noon Mountain Time, I'm pretty sure. So that's 2 o'clock Eastern Time. They're going to announce the destination of the next trip. I personally think it's Costa Rica. If it is, you need to learn two words and a phrase in Spanish, and that's please, por favor, gracias, thank you, and pura vida. That's a phrase used in Costa Rica, and you can pretty much cover everything with that. It doesn't directly translates. It means have a great day, nice to meet you, things are good. So pura vida.
And there's one more. Cheers. That's salud.
Salud.
Health.
Hello.
Cheers. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for being on the call. We look forward to
Great.
seeing you on Monday.
Have
Ciao.
a great holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy 4th of
you,
July.
guys.
Thank you.